Why would anyone climb 2,000 feet?
I don't know.
Seriously, what is wrong with people?
I have no idea.
Would you ever try...
Hell no.
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig. And this week, we're starting a new series of 4. We just got done, last week we did just a Halloween-related thing.
Yeah.
Well, we did something for Halloween special, a one-off. But before that, we had 4 family movies. And
Yeah.
for those who don't know, we tend to like to group them in 4 movies of a similar vibe of some kind. And what we're going with is 4 phobia movies. Movies that are horror based completely on phobias.
Yes.
And obviously, since it's showing some people way up high, it's the fear of heights, or technically falling from them.
Yeah.
I mean, the heights aren't as bad as the falling. No. Well, actually, it's not
I'd
even the
never
falling.
been
It's
up there.
probably the landing. But anyway, so here's the premise. Some dumb people are really dumb and do dumb things and find out. I'm saying it cleaner, but you know.
Yeah, if you
They
be
climb
dumb-
around and found out.
Yeah, well... yeah.
No, basically, a couple of friends had gone mountain climbing, and one of the people who was dating one of the 2 main characters fell, and she didn't want to go near heights, and she was kind of, for a year, just a hermit, basically, when she wasn't drinking. And her best friend comes to her and says, hey, we got to get you over this fear. It's not like it's going to happen again. I found this radio
Really
tower,
tall,
TV tower, or whatever it
rusty,
is,
old piece of metal in the middle of nowhere.
that's 2,000 feet high. We should climb to the top and film it for,
For fun.
social media, because of course you would. And then when they do that, bad things happen. Like,
I mean, for
it's
starters,
called
they're
fall.
up there.
It's called fall.
The first thing that does bad is that they're up there.
Yeah. Out of the phobias, this is the one that's actually like triggering to us because we both
Big
have a
time.
fear of heights.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that's basically the premise.
Yeah.
But why don't we show and try not to look away? If you have a fear of heights, like, don't look
This one
away.
does it.
The trailer will get you.
The trailer will get you. All right.
A horrible thing happened to you. I just want you to be able to move on with your life.
Come here. It's coming up on a year. I have something that's planned, and I need a partner in crime. The B67 TV tower.
I haven't climbed since...
Becky, if you don't confront your fears, you are always going to be afraid.
Let's do it. Let's climb your stupid tower. I'm so excited! Hey guys! Hi! I was really ripped.
You're awesome! That is the Becky that we need for this trip.
This is sick.
Damn it, Hunter. What are you getting us into?
Okay, so just stay behind me, one rung at a time. See? It's easy. You're doing great. Becky, you gotta come up here. Hey, trust me.
What was that? Oh my god! Hunter, how do we get down? I don't have a signal.
Our water is down there in that bag.
We have 50 feet of rope. I think I can drop myself lower. Okay, I'm gonna jump onto the bag.
Hunter, no! Hunter!
Every hour that passes, the weaker we get.
If anyone called 911, they'd be here by now.
What is it that Dan used to say?
If you're scared of dying, don't be afraid to live.
Well, all right. I mean, when I saw that trailer, knowing how it like tightened up my stomach and everything, I literally messaged him and sent him the link, and I was like, you need to not only watch this on our TV. So he came out and we watched it on the big screen, and like, yeah. Ugh. The second he saw it on DVD, he purchased it sight unseen outside of the trailer.
Yes.
But anyway, before we get into the behind the scenes information, what we really came here to do, and both of our followers know this.
Yes.
I say both, but I know of at least 3 now.
Wow.
Yeah. We're here not really to review horror movies. Anyone can do that.
Silly.
We want to make money. And the way we do that is by pimping ourselves out to large corporations that are soulless and heartless, but they have bank.
Which is usually how that works.
And we don't have the things printed out this time. We're going to have to read them off our phones because there was a glitch with the printer. But hey, things happen.
Pretty sure it's your fault.
Who are you pointing to?
The audience.
How is it their fault? Anyway, all right. So what we do is we find sponsors. They pay us big loads of money, and we just built a show around making money from sponsorships. This week, Gory Storytime is brought to you by Fudge That brand fudge. We make many delicious flavors of fudge. Flavors of fudge. Flavors of fudge. Try our What the Fudge peanut butter fudge and our Fudge You raspberry swirl fudge, or our Fudge Your Mama original classic flavor. We even have box mixes that you can make at home, so pick up some of our Go Fudge Yourself and make it with your kids tonight. Fudge That. If you don't love it, we don't give a fudge.
And by The Great American Guide to Dumb Activities, a deep dive in the most dangerous and ridiculous things to do for fun in the United States of America. From cliff diving and free climbing to alligator wrestling and noodling for catfish. We cover actual things that have most people saying, yeah, I'm good with that. The Great American Guide to Dumb Activities. Order your copy today, because the Darwin Awards have been dull lately. Oh my.
All right, now let's get into the meat and beef of the show, as you like to call it.
That's the...
Of course, I bring up that you call it that.
Every time since.
Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
All right.
The filmmakers had considered green screen or digital sets, but ultimately opted for the real thing. They decided to build the upper portion of the tower on top of a mountain so that the actors would really appear to be thousands of feet in the air, even though in real life they were never more than 100 feet off the ground, which is far
enough
too
for
much.
me. Yeah, I don't want to act at 100 feet.
No.
I'll do my acting on the ground. Thank you.
Yeah, surround me in that green stuff.
The film's original dialogue, which included over 30 F-bombs, was dubbed out to make this a PG-13 film once Lionsgate picked up the rights to the film. This was done using artificial intelligence dubbing technology that alters on-screen mouth movements.
Yes. The 2,000-foot B-67 TV tower that Becky and Hunter climb is a real abandoned tower. According to the director, the film was based on the KXTV/KOVR radio tower that is also known as the Sacramento Joint Venture Tower. It is a guide communication tower in Walnut Grove, California. Many base jumpers throughout the years have illegally trespassed on the property and have climbed the tower in order to jump off and parachute to the ground. Also, the Walnut Grove's location has made it the site of a rare collection of very tall radio and television transmission towers. The KXTV/KOVR radio tower is 2,049 feet. Likewise, the imaginary TV tower in the film is claimed to be above 2,000 feet tall, according to Hunter.
After production finished, Lionsgate Films acquired the film's distribution rights without a minimum guarantee for the producers. After it did well in test screenings, Lionsgate decided to release it in theaters.
The look of the radio tower in the film was inspired by the KXTV/KOVR tower radio
So that's the same thing.
in
with
Walnut
less-
Grove, California.
Established by Hunter as 2,000 feet tall, that would make it taller than some of the most famous skyscrapers in the world. Some of them that it's taller than are the Abraj Al Bait Clock Tower, the Lot World Tower, One World Trade Center, Taipei, Petronas Twin Towers, Willis Tower, the Empire State Building, the John Hancock Center, and the Chrysler Building. I don't need to be in those that high.
Definitely not.
Even in.
Nope.
I'm
According
good.
to director Scott Mann, a smaller scale version of the real 2,000-foot tall B-67 TV tower was built by the same company that built the original. Sections were rebuilt on the plateau of a 2,000-foot cliff in the Shadow Mountains of the Mojave Desert so that filming occurred at the height of the actual TV tower. No thanks.
Several internet sources say the TV tower used was the abandoned B-67 TV tower in California, but that was used for establishing shots. It's the fourth largest structure in the U.S. The upper portion of the tower was a 100-foot section that was built on a mountain. Every one of these is the same facts over and over. You notice that?
Yeah.
Your turn.
From about
11
minutes in when Becky and Hunter are in the diner to 17 and a half minutes in when they are under the tower, it is seen in various scenes a tree-like plant species called Yucca brevifolia, or
the Joshua tree.
Or the Joshua tree. This is endemic and exclusive to the Mojave Desert.
Mojave.
Okay. A species belonging to the genus Yucca. It was most recently listed
Yucca, but go ahead.
Listed 2020 in the IUCN. What are you laughing at? Stop.
You don't know how to pronounce nothing.
Red list of threatened species as LC, least concern, but the population trend is marked as decreasing. This is mostly because the August 2020 Dome fire devastated more than 40,000 acres with an estimated 1.3 million Joshua trees that were lost. Climate change also endangers the overall survival of the species, which is very important for local ecosystem. There have been continuous efforts from December 2021 by the U.S. National Park Service, University of California, Berkeley, and by various volunteers to plant thousands of Joshua tree seedlings, a task that has been truly challenging.
All right. At a point in this movie, Hunter comments about the tower being twice the Eiffel Tower. Set in Paris, France, the Eiffel Tower was designed by an architect and engineer, Gustave Eiffel, hence the name. He built it as a symbol for the 1889 Paris World's Fair. Its construction started on January 28, 1887, concluding March 31st, 1889. At the time of the fair, it celebrated from May 5th to October 31st of that year. The tower is 1,000... son of a gun. 1,083 feet, making the Hunter commentary real since the tower is over 2,000 feet tall. Like, people have to work in a repeat.
Several
of every one of
things
these
hint at the
facts.
twist when. Okay. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, there's going to be spoilers.
Several things hint at the twist when Hunter gets back on the platform. She says her hands are hurt, and it's the diversion. She refuses any water and doesn't pilot the drone despite it being her drone and her knowing the controls better than Becky. She's not asleep when Becky wakes up from her nightmare, and she isn't the one to volunteer to go up to plug in the drone, even though Becky has a hurt leg and Hunter is the free climber who knows how to do the hack in the first place. She doesn't catch the backpack and doesn't answer why she didn't, then shows no fatigue at all. Meanwhile, Becky can't stay awake or speak correctly. Even her face is saved from the sunburn that Becky's has.
When Hunter falls after retrieving the bag from the dish and before Becky checks on her, you can hear Hunter's body landing on the dish, revealing she didn't actually make it.
At 37 minutes into the film, Becky falls into the void after the rusted and without bolts ladder collapses. This is the scene that was used for the creation of the official poster of the film, yet the poster shows Hunter being the one who falls into the void when the ladder collapses. The twist reveals why Hunter makes no attempt to catch the falling bag.
Go ahead. Keep reading it now.
And why she doesn't answer when asked about it.
Right. At an hour in, Hunter is shown wearing both shoes as she climbs down the short ladder in the wide shot. She only would have had one at this point, so that was a mistake.
Oh. When the girls are climbing the exterior ladder at the top, Hunter's oak leaves circlet tattoo moves positions from her left thigh, where it normally is located, to the back of her right leg for only one scene.
After Becky charges the drone, she leaves the red cover off the light, but it's back in place several scenes later.
Buzzards don't attack the living. They lack the physical attributes to pose a threat. They prefer to feed on animals that are already dead.
There are many errors in climbing procedures, examples failing to belay properly at the top of the tower, and a woman pulling herself up a rope with her hands instead of using a Prusik loop.
When Hunter falls, if you listen carefully, you can hear a loud noise. It's her body thumping on the dish.
Right. Well, here's the thing. There was not much...
Oh, and Rotten Tomatoes is a website.
Yes, and what they do is they take all of the reviewers that they trust their opinion, so not us.
Not us.
And they just tabulate positive review, negative review, and figure out the percentage of positive reviews. So the higher the number, the more positive reviews, et cetera, et cetera. So when people are like, oh, I hate Rotten Tomatoes, it says my favorite movie's only this. It's like, they didn't say it.
They just told you.
Yeah, they just let you know that that's the consensus.
Like, here's the truth.
And they also have a section for the people to vote, and it's a simple, did you like
Good,
it or
bad,
not? Yeah.
Number of stars.
Basically. And the professionals claim it is a...
79%.
And the people who, vary wildly from said professionals have it at 79%.
Right.
It's rare, but it happens once in a while that they tend to agree.
I mean, they certainly agreed on this movie.
All right. What was your least favorite part?
All right. My least favorite part was probably the part where... So Becky was the girl whose husband died.
Okay. Boyfriend, but...
Okay. So my least favorite part was when Hunter comes in the next morning and says, so have you made a decision? And Becky says yes. And then decides to go on this dumb trip.
So your least favorite thing is the thing that makes the movie happen?
Basically.
Okay. Well, my least favorite part was the fact that I couldn't look away and it was making my stomach queasy. Anyone that has a fear of anything knows that the pit of the stomach feeling.
Yes.
I had that for the full 90 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, it would ease off, and then it'd be like, and just so you remember, here's
Oh,
a shot
you
of
see
us
that
way
shot?
up here.
You see that shot?
Yeah, there was a lot of those.
It was 90% those.
And then it's like, we're going to have a buzzard attack her there so that you have to go, is she going to fall? Yeah, so the queasy
nice.
feeling that I couldn't look away from was my least favorite thing because, boy. What was
Yeah.
your favorite thing?
So my favorite thing about this movie is that it successfully did what I want every horror movie I watch.
We're
to
in
do.
agreement on this, so we'll just do
It
this
is
together.
just horrifying, this movie.
Yeah, like it scared us both. We didn't want to look and couldn't look away at the same time. We were just like, and we watch things like Hostel and, Human Centipede and laugh our way through it.
Yeah, like...
But this was like,
Thor-
no, but this could actually happen.
No, okay. What you don't realize is it couldn't actually happen. Because there's no version where I'm up there.
I believe what I said when we were watching this is this couldn't happen to me because it would take someone finding me, drugging me, flying me to the top of this thing, and setting me gently on a platform in order for me to have been up there in the first place. And there's way more questions that's going to raise.
Right.
Because I'm going to want to know how they did it and why it was worth it. Like, I guarantee I'm easier to kill than that.
Yep.
Like, that just seems like excessive.
Yeah, this movie, it successfully scared me throughout. It kept me on the edge of my
But
seat, and that is not something that horror movies
We're
do
doing
anymore.
4 phobia movies back to back to back, and we started, just to be fair to anyone that watches,
with ours.
with our own phobia. And,
I've been not a fan of heights for a really, really long time.
like, I don't mind the movie Vertigo, but this is different.
Right, this gives you.
Yeah. This is like, ugh. Anyway, on a scale of 1 to 10, though, what would you rate this?
I think I'm giving this movie a 10
Wow. I'm not.
because
I'm going to give it an 8. Go
Wow,
ahead and tell me
so
why
low?
with the 10.
I mean the acting was phenomenal.
The acting was good. Yes, I like the
like special effects were they just did
practical.
it.
Like,
They really were up there.
I mean, not a full 2,000,
no,
but
you're
like
right, not
still.
a full 2,000. 100 feet above a 2,000 feet mountain.
Anyway,
So higher than this. No thanks.
anyway,
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say 10 because the acting was great, the special effects were impeccable, and I don't see anything right with this movie, and that makes it perfect.
well, I'm giving it an 8, and my reasoning is because as much as I agree with the acting and, the effects being so real because they just did them practically and everything, here's what I'm going to say. I will never watch this movie again. I can't do that to myself, and I can't give a 10 to a movie I refuse to ever view a second time.
Yeah, all right.
So it's
I will definitely be watching this movie again.
not with me.
I will kidnap him, fly him to the top of a chair, and drop him on top of the chair and force him to watch this movie.
I will relieve myself all over you.
That's disgusting.
Both ways. I will release the back too. Just
Oh.
oh, you will get
This
you will
episode is brought
regret.
to you by a father-son pooping thing, apparently.
No. Anyway,
But
anything else
so
you want to say?
10, 8,
I mean, it's a really good movie.
do watch it.
If you have a fear of heights,
Especially
don't be
watch it.
surprised. Well, no, don't be surprised if this really gets to you. But that's what we did. We're like, we can do it. And the whole time I'm going, why did I do this? I literally said multiple times, why would I agree to this?
Why
But
did I
anyway,
show you that trailer?
But now, why don't we look? I did say that, didn't I? Why don't we go and wrap things up with the stuff over on the
On the
side
side.
there?
Yes.
And
Nope, on my side.
there, and pop up with the thing. That's the
There
thing.
it is. All right. You can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can check us out on Facebook, and like I always say, by that I mean Gory Storytime and Fact TV.
Indeed. You can go to fact8.com, watch a bunch of the back episodes of this. You can go and watch a bunch of the other entertainment that they have, which is an abundance.
Yes, and you can always check us out on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
And I'm at Jiggly Firm Brain. I just tweet things that he says that I find funny in or out of context.
And just to give context to the name Jiggly Firm Brain, that was also a quote of mine. We were watching a Friday the 13th movie, and a girl was running, and I said, I love women for their brains. Look at her jiggly firm brain.
Yes. Well, also, if we're able to, with all these stacks of cash that we make from the show, I could become a verified Jiggly Firm Brain. $8 a month.
Anyway. So that's the show for the week.
It is. Until next week, I've been your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig, and sweet dreams.